Most men approach women the wrong way, not because they lack attraction, but because they lack control over their own minds. They let fear dictate their actions, overthinking every word, every movement, every possible outcome. Or worse, they mask their insecurities with forced confidence, trying too hard to impress. Neither approach works, because attraction is not about tricks, it's about presence. A Stoic man understands this. He does not seek validation, nor does he fear rejection. He approaches not to impress, but to connect. He does not chase approval, because he knows his worth is not determined by another person's reaction. Whether a woman responds positively or not is irrelevant. His confidence remains unshaken. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Most men fail at approaching women because they focus on the outcome rather than the process. They fear rejection because they place their self-worth in the hands of others. A man who has mastered himself does not let external reactions dictate his confidence. He is centered, composed, and in control. Confidence is not about knowing exactly what to say. It is about being grounded in who you are. A woman can sense immediately when a man is comfortable in his own skin, just as she can sense when he is trying to be something he's not. The men who struggle the most are the ones who approach from a place of lack. A lack of self-belief, a lack of presence, a lack of internal stability. The ones who succeed are those who understand that true confidence is built long before the approach even happens. So how does a real man, a Stoic man, approach women? How does he create effortless interactions, where attraction flows naturally instead of feeling forced? The answer is not in tricks, scripted lines, or pretending to be someone you're not. It's in mastering your own mind, letting go of the need for validation, and approaching from a place of strength, not scarcity. In this guide, you'll learn 7 powerful Stoic principles to approach women with confidence, without being pushy, without overthinking, and without feeling like you need to be someone you're not. Now take action. Subscribe to Victory Stoic, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. What's the biggest challenge you face when approaching women? Let's build a mindset of confidence together. Number 1. Signs she wants you to approach. Decoding attraction with confidence. Ever freeze up before saying hi? Heart pounding, palms sweaty, convinced she'll shoot you down or call you out for daring to try? Guys twist approaching women into a high-stakes heist. Every step a risk, rejection lurking like a tripwire, the whole thing feeling like you're crashing her party. But what if I flipped it? She's already flashing signs she wants you to step up, and you're just too tangled in your head to catch them. The catch isn't that chances don't exist, it's that they're blinking right at you, unnoticed. A Stoic man doesn't stumble through that haze. He skips the daydreams and swaggered guesswork. He locks in, reads the play, and moves clean. It's about sizing up the vibe, trusting what's real, and acting without a second's wobble. Marcus Aurelius cut it straight. A man should be upright, not kept upright. No waiting for a gold star or a nudge to feel legit. You build that iron inside, so when the window cracks open, you're through it, no sweat. So how do you tell when she's green-lighting your approach? Let's crack it open with a real-world rewind. The beach encounter, a lesson in presence and perception. Picture this. It's a warm afternoon at Venice Beach, California. People are walking along the boardwalk. Music is playing in the distance, and the ocean breeze is perfect. You're sitting on the sand, watching the waves, when you notice a woman nearby. She's with her friends, but unlike them, she keeps glancing your way. The first time, you think nothing of it. The second time, you notice she's holding eye contact a little longer than expected. The third time, she's adjusting her sunglasses, looking your way again, almost as if waiting for something. She's not rushing to join her friends in conversation. She's creating space, opportunity for an approach. Most men in this situation do one of 2 things. 1, they hesitate. They overthink. Is she just looking around? What if I misread this? What if I embarrass myself? And in doing so, they miss the moment. 2, they act impulsively. They approach without presence, without awareness, too aggressive or too rehearsed, and the moment feels forced instead of natural. A Stoic man? He recognizes the sign, but he does not act from fear or ego. He does not question himself into inaction, nor does he act desperately. He simply moves, calm, grounded, certain. He gets up, walks toward her, makes eye contact, and says something simple yet confident. "You've looked my way 3 times now. Either I remind you of someone, or you were waiting for me to come over." Notice how this is not a pickup line. It's an observation, a statement of presence, a display of confidence without arrogance. If she was waiting for you to approach, she will engage. If she wasn't, she'll smile and move on. Either way, you remain unshaken because your confidence was never based on the outcome. Recognizing the signs. When she wants you to approach. 1. She keeps looking at you, especially if she holds eye contact for more than a second. Women are subtle in their signals, but repeated eye contact is one of the most universal invitations. If she looks away quickly, then back again, she's testing your confidence. 2. She positions herself closer to you. At a beach, bar, or event, a woman interested in you will often find a way to be in your proximity. If she moves near you and lingers, she's giving you a window. 3. She plays with her hair, adjusts her outfit, or touches her lips while looking at you. These are subconscious attraction signals. Women instinctively enhance their femininity when they are around a man they find interesting. 4. She smiles at you, not just politely, but in a way that invites engagement. A quick, friendly smile can be a general social cue. But if she smiles, looks away, then looks back again, that's a sign of curiosity. 5. She gives you an opening, literally. She might drop something near you, ask a casual question, or comment on something happening around both of you. If she starts the conversation, even lightly, she's giving you an easy way in. The mindset shift. Why you should act with confidence. Many men hesitate because they fear rejection. But here's the truth. Rejection is irrelevant. If a woman signals interest and you approach confidently, you are not bothering her. You are validating her choice and showing interest. And if she wasn't interested, you lost nothing. You simply moved forward, unshaken, without regret. The true loss is in hesitation, in doubting yourself, in missing the moment because you let your mind talk you out of action. Seneca once wrote, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." If you train yourself to recognize these signals and approach with certainty, you will no longer hope for attraction. You will move through the world as a man who creates attraction through presence, awareness, and action. Women give signals all the time. The difference between the men who succeed and the men who hesitate is not in the signals themselves, but in the ability to recognize them and act. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need the right words. You just need to move when the moment presents itself. Next time you're out and you see a woman looking your way more than once, standing near you, or opening a path for conversation, don't hesitate. Don't overthink. Just act. Now it's your turn. Have you ever noticed these signals but failed to act? Or have you ever approached a woman and realized later she had been waiting for it? Comment below and let's discuss. Number 2. Common mistakes men make when approaching women and how to fix them. Most men fail at approaching women not because they aren't attractive, not because they lack potential, but because they unknowingly sabotage themselves. They overthink, underdeliver, or act in ways that immediately turn women off. The problem is not in their intentions, but in their execution. A Stoic man, however, does not act from desperation, does not rely on tricks, and does not let his confidence be dictated by external reactions. Instead, he refines his approach, eliminates self-sabotaging behaviors, and moves with awareness and purpose. Let's break down the most common mistakes men make when approaching women, and how you can correct them to become a man women actually want to engage with. 1. Approaching with desperation instead of confidence. Women can sense desperation immediately. It's in the way you lean in too much, in the way your energy feels needy, in the way your words seem to be searching for validation. Desperation kills attraction because it signals that you are placing too much importance on her response rather than the interaction itself. A man who truly understands his value does not approach with the energy of needing something. He approaches with the energy of curiosity and self-assurance. Instead of thinking, "I hope she likes me," shift your mindset to, "Let's see if we vibe." This simple adjustment changes everything. 2. Overcompensating with false confidence or over-the-top energy. Just as desperation is unattractive, so is forced arrogance. Many men, in an attempt to appear confident, go too far in the other direction. They try too hard to be dominant, making exaggerated gestures, speaking too loudly, or throwing in unnecessary bravado. Women see right through this. Real confidence is subtle. It's in how you hold eye contact, how you speak without rushing, how you stay relaxed even if the conversation has pauses. A man who is genuinely confident does not need to prove anything. He allows his presence to speak for itself. Number 3. Using rehearsed pickup lines instead of real conversations. Women don't reject men because of what they say. They reject them because of how they say it. If your approach feels rehearsed, scripted, or unnatural, it doesn't matter how clever your words are. The interaction will feel forced. Instead of memorizing lines, focus on starting conversations with genuine observations. Instead of saying, "Hey, you must be an angel because you just fell from heaven," say something real. "I saw you standing there and had to come say hi. You look like you're having an interesting day." The key is to sound like yourself, not like someone trying to win the conversation. Number 4. Ignoring social cues and continuing. When she's not interested. One of the biggest mistakes men make is failing to recognize when a woman is not interested. If she gives short, one-word answers, avoids eye contact, or physically moves away, she is signaling disinterest. A self-aware man picks up on this immediately and respects it. He does not keep pushing, trying to force a connection where there is none. Attraction is about alignment, not persuasion. If she's not engaged, move on gracefully. A man who respects a woman's lack of interest earns more respect than one who tries to change it. Number 5. Talking too much about yourself instead of building a connection. Confidence is attractive, but talking endlessly about yourself is not. Many men mistakenly believe that sharing all their accomplishments, stories, and opinions makes them more appealing. In reality, it does the opposite. Women are not drawn to men who seek to impress them. They are drawn to men who make them feel heard and understood. Instead of dominating the conversation, ask thoughtful questions and actually listen. A well-placed, "Tell me more about that," is far more powerful than a monologue about your latest success. 6. Being overly nice in a way that feels inauthentic. There is a difference between kindness and approval-seeking behavior. Many men mistake being nice for being attractive, thinking that if they agree with everything she says, avoid any conflict, or constantly seek to please, she will like them more. This often backfires because it comes across as weak, as if you are trying to earn her approval rather than showing up as a man with his own standards. Women respect men who are kind, but have a backbone, men who can challenge ideas respectfully, and men who are not afraid to disagree when necessary. A real man does not shape his personality to fit someone else. He owns who he is. 7. Waiting too long to make a move and letting the moment die. Some men wait too long. They hesitate, thinking, "I'll approach when the time is right." The problem is, the right time rarely presents itself in the way they imagine. Attraction is built in the moment, and if you don't act on it, the energy fades. A man who hesitates too much signals indecision, and indecision is unattractive. The right time to approach is when you feel the moment. When eye contact lingers, when she positions herself near you, when you feel the pull. If you wait too long, she assumes you're either uninterested or unsure of yourself, neither of which are appealing. 8. Trying to impress. Instead of just being present. The best interactions are the ones where two people are simply present with each other. Many men fall into the trap of trying to impress, listing their achievements, cracking excessive jokes, or constantly looking for validation. This makes the conversation feel transactional rather than natural. Instead, focus on the present moment. Instead of thinking, "How do I make her like me?" shift to, "How can we enjoy this conversation?" Presence is powerful, and when you stop chasing an outcome, you become more magnetic. 9. Fearing rejection. Instead of seeing it as neutral, rejection is part of life, yet many men take it personally. A rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It is simply an indication that there was no mutual connection. A Stoic man understands this. He does not let rejection shake his confidence because he knows that confidence is internal, not external. When a woman turns him down, he moves on without bitterness, without frustration, and without losing his center. In fact, how a man handles rejection often determines how attractive he appears. A simple, "No worries, have a great night," said with a genuine smile, can sometimes shift the entire dynamic because it shows he is unshaken. Final thought. Become the man who doesn't make these mistakes. Approaching women is not about having a perfect script or never making mistakes. It is about moving through the world with confidence, self-awareness, and a deep understanding that attraction is not something you win. It is something that happens naturally when you show up as your best self. The men who succeed are not the ones who try the hardest. They are the ones who have removed the behaviors that sabotage them. The next time you see a woman you want to approach, check yourself. Are you overthinking? Are you forcing? Are you approaching from a place of need rather than self-assurance? Strip away the unnecessary. Approach with clarity, calmness, and presence. Women are not looking for men who try too hard. They are looking for men who are effortlessly themselves. Now, we will dive into the right techniques to connect with and approach women with confidence. Number 3. How to start a conversation naturally. The art of effortless attraction. Guys often choke on that first hello, racking their brains for a silver bullet line, sweating like one magic sentence will seal the deal or torch it. Truth is, attraction doesn't hinge on a Hollywood zinger. It rides on the vibe you carry into the chat. A Stoic man gets this. It's not the words that flex. It's the steady, real way he drops them. No memorized pickup playbook, no try-hard flash. He steps in, grounded, owning the moment as it unfolds. Take Jake, one crisp afternoon at a cozy Austin cafe. He's at the counter, nursing a black coffee when he spots her, a woman flipping through Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. No spiral about "what's my line?" He just flashes a half smile and tosses out, "That book rewired how I see grit." First time diving in? No gimmicks, no stage act, just a chill nudge that lit a spark. She glances up, caught off guard but hooked, and says, "Yeah, been on my list forever. How'd it shift your take?" Boom, conversation flows, easy as breathing. Here's where the trap snaps shut for so many. They're hell-bent on dazzling her out the gate. Drop a mic, crack a joke, wow her socks off. But the real magic kicks off simpler, a natural swap that doesn't fake it. Jake nailed it not because he forced the spark, but because he leaned in with real curiosity, no agenda. He wasn't fishing for a pat on the back, he was just there, in it, alive to the exchange. Epictetus once said, "If you wish to be a writer, write." The same applies to conversations. If you want to be good at them, have them. Confidence in speaking to women comes from practice, not from waiting until you feel ready. The more you engage, the more natural it becomes. The key is to start with what's happening in the moment, rather than relying on memorized lines. The biggest mistake men make when starting a conversation is trying too hard to be impressive, instead of being real. They open with something forced like, "Hey, do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk by again?" which feels artificial and desperate. A much better approach is to focus on shared context. If you're at a bookstore, mention a book she's looking at. If you're in line for coffee, joke about the wait time. If you're at a party, comment on something about the atmosphere. The environment itself gives you everything you need, if you're paying attention. A real man doesn't overthink what to say, because he knows that conversation is not about performing, it's about exchanging energy. When you stop treating it like an audition and start treating it like a natural interaction, everything shifts. Women don't respond to perfection, they respond to presence. They are more interested in how they feel when they talk to you than in the exact words you say. Jake later reflected on that moment at the cafe. He didn't walk in planning to start a conversation, but when the opportunity presented itself, he acted without hesitation. And that's what separates men who are socially confident from those who struggle. They recognize the moment and step into it. If you wait for the perfect words, you will always hesitate. But if you train yourself to simply speak when you feel the impulse, your ability to connect will skyrocket. The next time you see a woman you'd like to talk to, don't pause to construct the ideal sentence. Just engage. Speak about the present moment, ask a genuine question, or simply share an observation. You'll find that when you remove pressure from yourself, conversations become effortless. Women don't remember the exact words you say, they remember how they felt talking to you. Make them feel like they're speaking with someone who is grounded, comfortable, and fully engaged. That, is the foundation of attraction. Number 4. The art of giving a subtle compliment and asking the right question. Guys either clam up on compliments, paralyzed, scared they'll sound thirsty, or they gush like a broken faucet, piling on fake praise that reeks of effort. A Stoic man sidesteps that mess. He knows a solid compliment isn't kissing ass, it's sharp-eyed presence. He spots something real, drops it cool and steady, no fishing for a gold star back. Picture Ryan one night, rooftop bar in Chicago, kicking it with friends. A woman strides past, rocking a weathered leather jacket, vintage, lived in. No mental scramble, no slick guy act. He just leans in and says, "That jacket's got edge, looks like it's been yours since day one." Not the usual, "You're stunning" autopilot, it's offbeat, it's hers. She cracks a grin, locks eyes and goes, "Picked it up at this hole-in-the-wall thrift in New York." Bam, chat's rolling, natural as hell. Where so many trip is the lazy playbook, tossing out vague, "you're hot" lines or stiff, overdone fluff that lands flat. Gorgeous is white noise. She's drowned in it before. The trick's in the details, the realness. Something that clicks and pulls her in. Swap "nice smile" for "your smile's got a spark like you're plotting something fun." It's a hook, a thread, a peek that says you see her, not just her face. Ryan didn't chase her reaction. He threw a spark and let it catch. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." The same applies to attraction. You don't need extravagant gestures or poetic lines to capture attention. You just need to shift your perspective. If you start seeing women as people to engage with, rather than challenges to win over, your interactions will change instantly. After delivering a compliment, the best way to keep the conversation flowing is by asking the right kind of question. Instead of basic small talk like, "Where are you from?" or "What do you do?" ask something that sparks curiosity. Ryan, after complimenting the jacket, followed up with, "What's the best thing you've ever thrifted?" It led to a fun discussion about old records, travel stories, and the excitement of finding something valuable in unexpected places. A good question doesn't just gather information, it creates an experience. Instead of, "What do you do for work?" say, "What's something about your job that you actually love?" Instead of, "Where are you from?" say, "What's something from your hometown you wish people knew about?" These small shifts take a conversation from ordinary to memorable. The key to mastering compliments and questions is not to think of them as tactics, but as expressions of genuine interest. A real man doesn't compliment to impress. He compliments because he actually notices. He doesn't ask questions to fill space. He asks because he's curious. And that is the difference between a forgettable interaction and one that lingers in her mind long after you've walked away. Number 5. Lead with confidence. Don't ask for permission. One of the biggest mistakes men make when they feel a connection is asking for permission instead of leading with certainty. They hesitate, afraid of coming on too strong, and end up framing their invitation as a question rather than a statement. The problem? It shifts the dynamic from confidence to uncertainty. Imagine you're talking to a woman. The conversation is flowing, there's obvious chemistry, and you want to continue spending time together. Most men at this point say something like, "Would you maybe like to grab a drink later?" or "Do you want to go somewhere else?" The moment you phrase it as a question, you are subtly suggesting that she is in control of the decision, which, despite popular belief, many women do not want. Women are attracted to leadership, decisiveness, and a man who is sure of what he wants. A man who leads does not seek approval. He moves with certainty. Instead of, "Do you want to get a coffee?" say, "I'm heading to this great coffee shop nearby. Come with me." Instead of, "Would you like to see this cool spot I know?" say, "Let's go check out this place I think you'll love." The difference is subtle but powerful. One approach feels passive, the other feels like a man who is in control of his life. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." This applies directly to attraction. When you lead with confidence, you are not concerned about whether she says yes or no. You are simply extending an opportunity and letting her decide. If she declines, that's fine. You don't react, you don't beg, you don't hesitate. You move forward with the same energy because your confidence was never based on her response. This is not about being forceful or disregarding her comfort, it's about setting the tone. A woman who is interested will respond positively to your leadership, while a woman who is unsure will hesitate. Either way, you remain unshaken because you are acting from a place of self-assurance rather than neediness. Next time you feel a connection, pay attention to how you phrase your invitation. Are you asking for permission, or are you leading with certainty? Women are drawn to men who take charge, not in a controlling way, but in a way that signals strength, direction, and confidence. Stop hesitating, stop seeking approval, and start leading. That is the energy that makes a man truly unforgettable. Number 6, own your personality. Confidence in who you are. You've seen it happen. A guy approaches a woman, and within seconds you can tell he's not really being himself. Maybe he's trying too hard to sound impressive. Maybe he's toning himself down to seem agreeable. Either way, it's obvious, and worse, it's forgettable. A man who truly understands attraction never adjusts his personality to fit what he thinks someone else wants. He isn't afraid to stand out. He isn't desperate to fit in. He is simply, unapologetically himself. One night at a rooftop bar in Miami, Daniel was talking to a woman he had just met. She asked, "So, what do you do?" Instead of launching into a predictable answer, he smirked and said, "I spend most of my time training to be a professional coffee snob. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it." She laughed, intrigued by his playful confidence, and the conversation naturally flowed from there. Daniel wasn't trying to impress. He wasn't listing accomplishments or downplaying himself to sound humble. He was just being himself, comfortable, unfiltered, and effortlessly engaging. This is where most men get it wrong. They either try too hard to appear interesting, or they downplay themselves out of fear of being judged. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't about proving your worth. It's about knowing you don't have to. Epictetus once said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." A man who understands this does not chase universal approval. He is willing to stand out, to have his own opinions, to embrace his quirks without over-explaining or apologizing. Women don't want a man who blends in. They want a man who makes no effort to be anything but himself. This doesn't mean acting eccentric just for the sake of it. It means if you have a dry sense of humor, use it. If you're passionate about something, speak about it with enthusiasm. If you have strong opinions, express them without hesitation. Women can sense when a man is filtering himself versus when he is speaking from a place of certainty. The key is balance. You don't need to boast, but you also don't need to play small. Imagine meeting someone who is constantly downplaying themselves. Would you want to spend time with them? Probably not. Confidence is magnetic, but insecurity, whether it's masked as arrogance or self-doubt, is repellent. Next time you're in a conversation, drop the act. Stop wondering what she wants to hear and start being fully yourself. The right people will be drawn to you, not because you tried to impress them, but because you showed up unapologetically as the man you truly are. Number 7, the mindset shift that makes you instantly more confident. The moment you shift your mindset, everything changes. Most men approach women with the unspoken thought, "I hope she likes me." This mindset puts you in a position of seeking approval, making you second-guess yourself, overthink every word, and ultimately come across as unsure. But a man who truly understands his worth, he enters the interaction with a completely different frame. I have value to share. Think about it. When you approach a woman, you are not just asking for attention. You are bringing something into the conversation. You bring energy, perspective, humor, and a moment that could be interesting, enjoyable, or even memorable. When you internalize this, the entire dynamic shifts. You are no longer trying to get something from her. You are offering something. And that small shift in perspective is what separates a man who appears needy from a man who is effortlessly confident. At a summer rooftop event in New York, Michael spotted a woman standing alone for a moment, sipping her cocktail and looking at the city skyline. Instead of hesitating or doubting himself, he walked over and casually said, "Be honest. Are you actually admiring the view, or are you just avoiding an awkward conversation with someone?" She laughed, turned toward him, and said, "A little of both, but this one seems promising." Just like that, the conversation flowed naturally. Michael wasn't asking for validation. He wasn't standing there wondering if she would accept him. He assumed he had something valuable to offer, a conversation that was fun, engaging, and different from what she was used to. That mindset gave him a relaxed confidence that made the interaction feel effortless. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Confidence doesn't come from waiting until you feel worthy. It comes from acting as if you already are. If you approach women thinking, "I hope she approves of me," you are already positioning yourself as lesser. But if you approach thinking, "Let's see if we connect. Let's share a great moment," your energy becomes completely different. The key is to stop thinking of attraction as something you need to win. You are not there to impress. You are there to engage. You are there to bring something valuable, a unique conversation, a light-hearted moment, a new experience. A woman responds to the man who brings something to the interaction, not the one who hesitates, hoping for approval. Next time you approach someone, catch yourself. Are you thinking, "I hope she likes me"? If so, flip it. "I have something to offer. Let's see if she's interesting enough to engage with." That's the mindset that makes you instantly more confident, instantly more attractive, and instantly someone worth talking to. Conclusion: confidence is not about seeking approval, it's about owning your value. The way you approach a woman says everything about how you see yourself. If you come in thinking, "I hope she likes me," you're already placing her above you. You're already seeking permission, approval, or validation. But a man who understands his worth? He doesn't seek approval, he brings value. Women aren't drawn to men who beg for attention. They're drawn to men who assume they have something worthwhile to offer. A great conversation, a unique perspective, a moment of humor, a confident energy that makes them feel excited, curious, or intrigued. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Confidence doesn't come from hoping things go well. It comes from knowing that no matter the outcome, you remain the same. Whether she's interested or not, whether the conversation flows or fizzles, you walk away with your confidence intact, because your self-worth was never dependent on her reaction. The moment you stop trying to be liked and start focusing on bringing value, everything shifts. You stop hesitating. You stop overthinking. You start approaching with ease, because you are no longer trying to win. You are simply seeing if there is a connection. Now, take action. Start seeing yourself as the one offering value. Approach from a place of curiosity, not desperation. And if you're ready to elevate your confidence, subscribe to Victory Stoic for more insights. Drop a comment below. What's one mindset shift that helped you approach with confidence? Let's build this together.